The Tale of Jessica and Steve the Blue Cat's Lovers. The Lonely Moonlight. Once upon a time, in a quiet coastal blue cat village where the sea sang lullabies and the moon painted the world silver, lived a graceful blue cat named Jessica. Her fur shimmered like twilight skies, and her eyes carried the softness of dawn. Yet, for all her beauty, Jessica the blue cat heart was heavy with loneliness. Every night, she would sit by the cliff, watching the moon's reflection on the sea, whispering her prayers, "If love is written for me, let him find me where the waves kiss the rocks." The wanderer. Far away, a strong but weary blue cat named Steve wandered from town to town. He had once belonged to a wealthy household but was abandoned when his owners traveled abroad. From that day, Steve roamed with a broken heart, never trusting the world again. But fate has a way of weaving broken threads. One evening, while following the sound of the sea, Steve reached the very cliff where Jessica the blue cat sat. The first meeting. Jessica turned, startled, as the tall, rugged blue cat approached. His fur was dusty, his eyes tired, but within them flickered a spark she had never seen. "Do you always sit here alone?" Steve asked gently. "Yes," Jessica whispered. "It's where I wait, for something I don't even understand." That night, they sat together, saying little, but their silence felt like a conversation only their hearts could hear. A love blossoms. Days turned into weeks. Steve began to return every evening, and slowly, his broken spirit began to heal. Jessica showed him the hidden corners of the village, the old market, the fisherman's pier, the secret cave where fireflies danced. In return, Steve shared his scars, his stories of betrayal and survival. Through each word, each moment, they built a bond no force could tear apart. Trials of the heart. But love is never without tests. One evening, while hunting, Steve was injured by a trap laid by villagers who feared the strange blue cats. Word spread that two mystical blue cats were bringing misfortune. Some demanded they be driven away. Jessica wept by Steve's side as he healed, whispering, "I will never leave you. Even if the world rejects us, I choose you." Her loyalty lit a fire in Steve's soul, giving him the strength to stand again. The storm. One night, a violent storm swept through the coast. The waves rose high, the wind howled, and lightning split the sky. Jessica was trapped near the rocks as the tide surged. Without hesitation, Steve leapt into the raging waters, fighting the current to reach her. He carried her to safety, his body bruised, his breath faint. As he collapsed, Jessica pressed against him, crying, "Don't leave me now. We were meant to survive together." A new dawn. When the storm ended, the villagers who once feared them now saw their courage. They built a small sanctuary near the cliff where the cats could live in peace. Seasons passed, and Steve and Jessica became inseparable. They hunted together, slept curled into each other's warmth, and raised their little kittens who carried both their strength and softness. Eternal love. Years later, when their fur had turned silver and their steps had slowed, Steve and Jessica still sat by the cliff every evening. They would watch the sea, just as they had on the night they first met. And when their final sunset came, it was said the villagers found them side by side, eyes closed, still leaning into each other, two souls that refused to be parted, even by death. From then on, whenever the moonlight touched the waves, the villagers would whisper, "Look, Steve and Jessica are still watching the sea together." PLS subscribe, share, like and comment, more beautiful stories coming.